Imagine trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. We all know the physics of this. The higher you build, the faster it collapses. Yet, right now in our education system, we are doing exactly this. By giving artificial intelligence to 7 years old, we aren't giving them a head start. We are replacing their concrete foundation of literacy and logic with the shifting sand of digital shortcut. Whether you are a parent, an educator, or just a concerned citizen, this issue hit close to home. Every future Malaysian doctors, engineers, and leaders is now sitting in the primary classroom. We all share the same goal. We want our children to be the masters of technology, not its servants. But by ensuring they master basic logic today is the only way to guarantee they aren't outpaced by the very machines we are rushing to give them. I have deeply studied the intersections of technology and child development, and I am committed to protecting the integrity of the learning process. My goal is to ensure that digital literacy never comes at the expense of human competency, especially during these critical years when a child's brain is most wired for fundamental growth. Therefore, I stand before you to argue that primary schools must ban AI tools. Why? Because early reliance stunts foundational skill development, compromises child safety through exposure to unregulated content, and replaces genuine human creativity with machine-generated shortcuts. To understand why this ban is essential, I will first examine how AI disrupts the development of core literacy and numeracy. Next, I will address the safety risk of exposing young children to unregulated digital content. Finally, I will explain how these tools undermine the very imaginations and critical thinking that early education is meant to foster. Let's look at the immediate impact on the classroom. Why protecting the development of foundational skills requires us to keep AI out of primary education? According to 2024 report by UNESCO on technology in the education, the unmediated use of generative AI in early childhood can lead to significant gaps in long-term cognitive development. Why does this happen? The report suggests that when children use these tools, they bypass the mental struggles required to form permanent neural pathways. Consider the mental gym. When a first grader uses AI to solve the questions 15 plus 7 or to write a simple paragraph, they miss the workout required to internalize logic. Without these manual repetitions, the brain never builds the fluency needed for advanced problem solving later in life. This leads to a dangerous dynamic: dependency versus mastery. Early reliance creates a digital crunch. If the technology fails or is unavailable, a student who has never struggled through manual handwriting or basic arithmetic lacks the self-reliance to function independently. Most importantly, we face a deficit in critical thinking. Critical thinking is born from the process of trial and error. AI provides the answer instantly. It removes the stage of discovery, which is the fundamental core of primary education. Beyond the loss of skill, we must also consider the digital environment itself, how AI exposure introduces risk that a primary schooler is simply not equipped to handle. Cybersecurity experts at the Global Center for Digital Health warn us that generative AI is essentially a black box. It creates a system that can hallucinate or surface biased and mature information without warning. Unlike a pre-approved textbook, AI can generate complex or inappropriate responses by bypass standard school filters. A young child simply lacks the maturity to fact-check or emotionally process content that may be violent or psychologically advanced. Furthermore, primary students do not understand the concept of data harvesting. Every prompt a child enters fits into an algorithm. This potentially creates a permanent digital footprint, compromising their privacy before they even understand what a password is. Practically speaking, there is a lack of human supervision. In a busy classroom, a teacher cannot monitor every AI-generated response in real time. This leaves a massive safety gap where machines, rather than trained educators, become the primary influencers of a child's worldview. While safety and skills are vital, we must also protect the inner world of the child. The natural spark of imagination that AI threatens to extinguish. As noted by development psychologists in the Journal of Creative Behavior, the struggle of creation, the massive process of drawing, erasing, and rethinking is exactly how the young brain learns to innovate. Creativity is a muscle. When a child asks an AI to draw a dragon or write a poem about the brain, they are outsourcing their imaginations. This prevents the development of divergent thinking, which is the ability to generate unique solutions from scratch. This leads to a loss of personal voice. Early childhood is when students find their own identity. Relying on machine-generated templates leads to a homogenization of thought. Every student's work begins to sound like the same average algorithm. We must return to the value of the hands-on process. Fundamental growth happens through tactile experiences, holding a pencil, mixing colors, and physical counting. AI replaces the sensory-rich experiences with a sterile, click to generate interface that lacks the depth required for cognitive maturity. To ensure the next generation of Malaysians can think of themselves, we must ban AI in primary schools and return to the fundamental how to learn, prioritizing human mastery over machine shortcuts. We have seen today how AI usage in primary schools actively destroy the development of foundational literacy and numeracy, exposes vulnerable children to unregulated safety risk, and stifles the natural growth of human creativity. I call on parents here to immediately establish AI-free zones at home. Ensure homework is done with pencil and paper to build true mastery. To the educators in this room, I urge you to formally petition your school boards to implement a fundamentals first policy that prioritizes tactile learning over digital shortcuts. Do not just wait for policy to change. Act today to reclaim the integrity of our children's education. While integrating in technology is popular, allowing AI into primary classrooms offer only short-term convenience at the cost of long-term competence. Let us choose to build a generation of independent thinkers, not a generation of dependent users. Ban AI in primary schools and give our children the future they deserve. Thank you.